Hello, everyone. Welcome to your station, your voice, the Galaxy Radio. You are listening to Behind the Screen, bringing you the latest in cinema entertainment. My name is Bill Loki, and I will be hosting alone again this morning. My co-host, Nikki Vogel, could not be here. Hopefully, she will be here next weekend so we can talk about everything that's going on in the world of movies. But I am going to continue by hosting solo today. And we're going to talk about a lot of movie news. We're going to talk about the box office results for last weekend. We're going to talk about what's coming out on home video, what's coming out in theaters tomorrow. And it's going to be a busy, crazy show. So let's begin with this. While promoting The Judge, which is in theaters this Friday, Robert Downey Jr. was asked numerous times if he plans to reprise his role as Iron Man in a fourth movie. On Tuesday, he confirmed that yes, there is another installment in the works. I know there are going to be a bunch of more Marvel movies, he explained. And they have big ideas of how to do it best, and they're in the middle of negotiations, blah, blah, blah. He had that interview with Ellen DeGeneres on her show, but now it appears he has changed his tune. Appearing on The Late Show Tuesday, the actor told David Letterman a slightly different story. There are no plans for an Iron Man 4, he revealed. Asked why not, the 49-year-old star said, "That's a valid question. Like it hasn't made enough money? Yeah, I guess they have too much money or something. There is no script for Iron Man 4. They do have a plan, and I think they're going to announce it soon." Letterman didn't let up, asking Downey a second time if a fourth Iron Man movie could still be a possibility. Downey said, "Just between us, no. But I'm going to do other stuff with Marvel. I'm still going to be involved with Marvel, and there's going to be plenty of fun stuff to happen." Now, this isn't new, as a lot of film buffs will know. Robert Downey Jr. has been playing with the media a lot about whether or not he will reprise his role as Iron Man in a fourth Iron Man film. He will be playing Iron Man in the upcoming Avengers sequel, Avengers Age of Ultron, as well as the Avengers sequel after that. But in terms of a solo Iron Man film, he keeps saying, "Oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, yes, it is happening." He's going back and forth with everything. So I think he said what he said on the Ellen DeGeneres show because he wanted to promote his new film, The Judge, which comes out in theaters Friday. But I mean, I don't think people caught on to it because he keeps going back and forth. Do I think he's going to not take the chance of reprising Iron Man for a solo film? I don't think so. His films in particular, his solo films, are huge moneymakers. His last film, Iron Man 3, made over $1 billion worldwide. So it'd be so hard to see or to even think about him not doing another film. He will be in Avengers Age of Ultron, like I said, and that, of course, will be a huge moneymaker for him. But he's got to split all the profits with eight other stars. They're adding 2 other people to the cast with Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson. So this isn't new. I do think he will reprise his role for another solo film. But if he doesn't, it's going to be a surprise. He actually did say he would do another Iron Man film if Mel Gibson directed. I don't know how much Marvel wants that to happen, but we'll see. But in the meantime, he will keep playing with the media because he loves to do that. Sony's female-led reboot of its Ghostbusters franchise is gaining momentum with the Heat writer Katie Dippold reteaming with director Paul Feig. Feig confirmed the news Wednesday on Twitter. He said, "It's official. I'm making a new Ghostbusters and writing it with at Katie Dippold, and yes, it will star hilarious women. That's who I'm going to call." Dippold will write the script with Feig, who became attached to the project in August. Ghostbusters 3 was originally supposed to be directed by Ivan Reitman, the director of the original Ghostbusters, and its 1989 follow-up, Ghostbusters 2, but he dropped out in March. Feig proposed that the franchise be rebooted with female leads. Reitman is producing the new Ghostbusters. Feig and his Feigco entertainment partner Jesse Henderson will produce. Dippold has written a sequel to The Heat, which starred Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock. Feig is also reteaming with McCarthy to direct her latest comedy Spy, which is slated for a Memorial Day 2015 release. So I'm very excited for this. I found The Heat, which again stars Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, to be hilarious. Katie Dippold has originally written episodes for, I think it was Community, before she had her first big film project with The Heat. So it's no surprise that Paul Feig would go to her again to write this new Ghostbusters film. And I'm still loving the fact that this is going to be an all-female cast. Paul Feig has been a proponent, someone who has marched on into the world of female-led films with Bridesmaids, of course, which was a huge hit, and The Heat, which was a huge hit. So it's no surprise that he would want to have an all-female led cast, and it's something, again, I'm personally excited about. It's a huge step forward for women in lead roles, which is starting to really gain momentum with films like The Hunger Games, which has a female-led protagonist. I mean, Bridesmaids, The Heat, just so many films where there is a female protagonist. A lot of those films I love. A lot of those films are successes. So I'm very excited for it. I am a huge Ghostbusters fan. I love the original Ghostbusters the most, absolutely. But I'm excited to see what they can do with it. So people have said, I was talking to someone yesterday, people have said, well, this is the time Hollywood has run out of ideas. I'm like, well, no, they still have ideas. They know how to make money. So if this is what they want to do to make money, absolutely go for it. And with the female-led cast, I don't think you could get anyone better than Paul Feig and Katie Dippold. Dwayne Johnson will be donning red swim shorts for his next film role. The Hercules actor confirmed on Instagram Thursday that he plans to star in an upcoming film adaptation of the long-running TV series Baywatch. He posted this news on Instagram, and I'm not going to read what he posted because it's not appropriate for radio. But he did say that he was going to, after so many rumors, he is going to be in the new Baywatch film. Starring David Hasselhoff as seasoned California lifeguard Mitch Buchanan, Baywatch aired from 1989 to 1990 on NBC before being canceled after just one season. The series was then renewed for another season through syndication and became one of the most watched shows on TV in the world during its peak in the mid-1990s. Baywatch ran for 11 seasons before concluding in 2001. It remains unclear if Johnson will be playing the Buchanan role or a new character. It is also not yet known when filming will begin, but the action star's Instagram post did come with a shot of him on a wave runner, so perhaps he's already prepping for the part. In addition to Baywatch, Johnson has another high-profile adaptation on the slate. The 42-year-old actor has signed on to star as the comic book character Black Adam in the upcoming Shazam film. Johnson will next be seen in Fast and Furious 7, due out April 3rd, 2015. Again, no big shock. This rumor has been going around for a long time that I think Johnson hinted at it last week. But it's no surprise. It has been confirmed that he will be in a new Baywatch film. I haven't seen the show, so I can't comment on whether or not he's good for the part or not. So I can't really contribute much to the source material, but I can say this. Dwayne Johnson is continuing this trend of being a wrestler turned huge movie star. So good for him. He now has another high-profile role. Star Trek III director Roberto Orci may not have any experience behind the camera, but he's found someone to help him out that will more than make up for his shortcomings. According to Trek Movie, Orci has enlisted Academy Award winner Claudio Miranda to be his cinematographer. Miranda's work includes such visually stunning films as The Life of Pi, for which he won his Oscar, Oblivion, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and Tron Legacy. He also shot Brad Bird's new film Tomorrowland. So, Even if Orchie completely fumbles and ruins Star Trek, at least it will look amazing. I think I said that on my blog too. In all seriousness, though, it's a huge win for Orchie and a very smart move. Claudio Miranda is a visual artist in terms of his cinematography. For those of you who don't know, a cinematographer is someone who has complete control of the camera and lighting crews. So Claudio Miranda, he is a newer cinematographer. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button was his first film, I think. But he is best known for his work with Joseph Kosinski, who directed Tron Legacy and Oblivion. And of course, Life of Pi. While I'm not the biggest fan of Life of Pi, I don't deny its stunning beauty, its stunning 3D, its cinematography, its gorgeous shots. So I'm personally, again, really excited about this. So whatever happens with Star Trek 3, it's going to look good. And like I said that on my blog. Speaking of my blog, if you want to check out any more content for Behind the Screen, I suggest you go to my blog, billsfilmblog.wordpress.com. It's called Behind the Screen, just like the show. The URL is billsfilmblog.wordpress.com. You head over there, you can get news on the latest casting updates, director updates, home video releases. You can check out old episodes of my radio show. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Behind the Screen are online on my blog. And you can also find the link to our Facebook page, Behind the Screen. So if you can, please like it and go check out my blog. The URL, once again, is billsfilmblog.wordpress.com. Fans of Edward and Bella will surely be ecstatic to know that the Twilight Saga is far from over, as one of the most loved vampire stories in print and film is about to continue, this time on social network. Lionsgate, the company that produced the movies, and author Stephanie Meyer, who wrote all 4 of the Twilight novels, have partnered with Facebook to develop 5 short films set within the Twilight universe, and the films will be exclusively shown on the social network next year. They are reportedly seeking 5 female directors to make the films. The talent search, called The Storytellers, New Voices of the Twilight Saga, will be hosted on Tongal. The winners will be chosen and guided by a panel of judges, which includes Myers, Twilight lead actress Kristen Stewart, Twilight director Catherine Hardwicke, Kate Winslet, Octavia Spencer, Julie Bowen, film producer Kathy Schulman, and Frozen director Jennifer Lee. The Women in Film organization, which supports women in the entertainment industry, is also behind the Twilight Project. The female voice is something that has become more and more important to me as I've worked in the film industry, Meyer said. Though the original cast members from the Twilight movies won't be appearing in the short film series, Lionsgate said that it would spend a significant amount on the production. Lionsgate Vice Chairman Michael Burns spoke to The Times and asked about what this project could mean for the future of Twilight. We think Facebook is a great way for us to introduce the world of Twilight to a whole new audience while re-energizing existing fans, said Burns. This is just a beginning, a template, if you will. You can probably guess what might be coming next. Does this mean there will be a 6th Twilight movie? Burns declined to elaborate, though he did say, "We love Stephanie Meyer." The Storytellers, New Voices of the Twilight Saga series will be shown exclusively on Facebook in 2013. Now, I'll say this right now, I've never seen a Twilight movie. I've never read a Twilight book. That being said, I don't deny the cultural phenomenon that it is. And this right here, I think it's kind of genius. I mean, this gives female directors a chance to be noticed, to be heard, and to have guidance like this. I mean, you've got all these famous directors and actresses, all female, guiding you on this process. And once again, let me read down the panel. That is Twilight author Stephanie Meyer, Twilight lead actress Kristen Stewart, Twilight director Catherine Hardwicke, actress Kate Winslet, actress Octavia Spencer, actress Julie Bowen, film producer Kathy Schulman, and Frozen director Jennifer Lee. So this is, again, super exciting for all those, for up-and-coming female directors because it gives them a chance, once again, to be noticed, to... I don't know how I'm going to put it, but to finally get some work out there. So I think this is awesome. All right, and the final news story today. A third entry in the Purge film series is currently in the works at Universal Pictures, Blumhouse Productions, and Platinum Dunes. James DeMonaco, director and writer of the first two films, will return to write and possibly direct the third, deadline revealed today. Returning producers include Sebastian Lemercier, Blumhouse's Jason Blum, and Platinum Dunes partners Michael Bay, Brad Fuller, and Andrew Form. The film will be a part of Blumhouse's first-look deal with Universal. The first two Purge films have grossed a combined $200 million worldwide, despite budgets of $3 million and $9 million respectively. The Purge films will take place in a United States where once a year all crime is legal from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So, and again, we're going to be talking about the Purge Anarchy today, and I'll let you know when that is. So it's no surprise. These films are... It is so funny how low budget they are. I did not like the first Purge film. I was okay on the second Purge film, but it's no surprise Universal will want to do a third Purge film. I'll run down the numbers again. The Purge was made for $3 million. The Purge Anarchy, its sequel, was made for $9 million. And together they could gross a combined $200 million. That is a huge gain just based on the budget alone. And it's also never going to be a loss for Universal because they're going to continue, those films are going to continuously make money. So it's no surprise that they would do this. I'm personally not excited for it because I'm not a big fan of the Purge series, but I can understand why Universal would want to do it. All right, let's get into one of my personal favorite things about film. That is the box office. And let me tell you, it was a close race this weekend. So number one, we have Gone Girl, which grossed $38 million. Number two, we have Annabelle, which grossed $37.2 million. Number three, The Equalizer, which grossed $18.7 million. Number four, The Box Trolls, which grossed $11.9 million. Number five, The Maze Runner, which grossed $11.6 million. Number six, Left Behind, which grossed $6.3 million. Number seven, This Is Where I Leave You, which grossed $4.0 million. Number eight, Dolphin Tale 2, which grossed $3.4 million. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy, which grossed $3.0 million. And number 10, No Good Deed, which grossed $2.5 million. So again, the list is number 1, Gone Girl, number 2, Annabelle, number 3, The Equalizer, number 4, The Box Trolls, number 5, The Maze Runner, number 6, Left Behind, number 7, This Is Where I Leave You, number 8, Dolphin Tale 2, number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy, and number 10, No Good Deed. So I'm so surprised how close numbers 1 and 2 were. In fact, if you want my honest opinion, I thought Annabelle was going to beat Gone Girl, but Gone Girl beat Annabelle. But Annabelle, not far behind. Gone Girl grossed $38 million. Annabelle grossed $37.2 million. Great debuts for these two films. Gone Girl was made for a budget of $61 million, and Annabelle was made for a budget of $6.5 million. So all I can say is congratulations to the studios and congratulations to director David Fincher, director John R. Leonetti, Ben Affleck. His star is once again on the rise when it comes to acting. So I'm happy about that. If you haven't seen Gone Girl, I highly recommend you check it out. I haven't seen Annabelle, so I can't comment on whether or not it was good. Number 6 was the new Nicolas Cage movie, Left Behind. It was not a good weekend for Nicolas Cage, but it's no surprise Left Behind didn't do as great because the film had little promotion. Nicolas Cage was in it, and also starring in it was, I think, Chad Michael Murray and Jordan Sparks. I think it's based on an older movie with Kirk Cameron, but it had very little promotion. It was made for a budget of 16 million, so it's not going to make a huge profit. No surprise, but it was not a good week for Nicolas Cage. I posted on my blog that this film is one of the lowest grossing domestic debuts for Nicolas Cage, behind, I can't remember what one of those films was, but one of them was the remake of The Wicker Man. So not a good week for Nicolas Cage. But The Equalizer is still continuing to do good. It only dropped 45% from its debut weekend. Normally films would drop 60%. So that's always great. The Box Trolls dropped 30% from its previous weekend. The Maze Runner dropped 33% from its previous weekend. This Is Where I Leave You dropped 41.8% from its previous weekend. Dolphin Tale 2 dropped 28% from its previous weekend. Guardians of the Galaxy dropped 20% from its previous weekend. No Good Deed dropped 44% from its previous weekend. And A Walk Among the Tombstones dropped 52%. Ooh, that's a huge drop. So no surprises, but I'm just surprised how close it was between Gone Girl and Annabelle. Let's go ahead and get into what is coming out on home video. What is in your local Walmart, your local Target, your local Best Buy, your local flea market, anything. There is a film that just came out on Tuesday that I would highly recommend you go check out. It's called Edge of Tomorrow. It stars Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. It is directed by Doug Liman, who directed the Firstborn film. He also directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Fair Game, Jumper. Let's forget that one ever happened. So, and in my mind, it is a thrilling film. It is a funny film at times. I just highly recommend you go check it out. And if you're not convinced, let me go ahead and give you the plot synopsis of this film. The epic action of Edge of Tomorrow unfolds in a near future in which an alien race has hit the Earth in an unrelenting assault, unbeatable by any military unit in the world. Major William Cage, played by Cruise, is an officer who has never seen a day of combat when he is unceremoniously dropped into what amounts to a suicide mission. Killed within minutes, Cage now finds himself inexplicably thrown into a time loop, forcing him to live out the same brutal combat over and over, fighting and dying again and again. But with each battle, Cage becomes able to engage the adversaries with increasing skill alongside Special Forces warrior Rita Vritovsky, played by Emily Blunt. And as Cage and Rita take the fight to the aliens, each repeated encounter gets them one step closer to defeating the enemy. Now, when it comes to Edge of Tomorrow, it was not a great domestic grosser. It did fine overseas, but in terms of here in the United States, it didn't do great. It was made on a $78 million budget and grossed not $100 million here in the United States. So I don't know why it did that, but Warner Brothers was kind of expecting it, I would say. It was originally called All You Need Is Kill. It's based on a graphic novel before they changed it to Edge of Tomorrow because they didn't like the word kill in the title. But then when they released it, they called it Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. So I don't think they know what the title of this movie is. But don't let that confuse you. Please, go check out Edge of Tomorrow if you haven't. Go rent it. Go buy it. Do something. I hope you won't be disappointed because I sure wasn't. It's a fun film. One of my favorite films of the year. So out on Blu-ray right now, Edge of Tomorrow. On iTunes, like I said, iTunes can get you early releases on films that don't come out on Blu-ray until the next couple of weeks. So on iTunes right now is the sequel to The Purge Anarchy. We were just talking about The Purge 3. So if you haven't seen any of the Purge films, then you can go to iTunes to download The Purge Anarchy. It's available for $19.99 in HD and $14.99 in standard def. It's directed by James DeMonaco, who I mentioned before. It stars Frank Grillo, Carmen Ejogo, and Michael K. Williams. Also, it stars Zach Gilford. And I'll let you know exactly what it's about. The Purge Anarchy. The new founders of America invite you to celebrate your annual right to purge. The Purge Anarchy, the sequel to summer 2013 sleeper hit that opened at #1 at the box office, sees the return of writer-director James DeMonaco to craft the next terrifying chapter of the dutiful citizens preparing for their country's yearly 12 hours of anarchy. Returning alongside DeMonaco to produce The Purge Anarchy are Blumhouse Productions' Jason Blum, who produced Paranormal Activity and the Insidious series, alongside Sebastian K. Lemercier, who produced Assault on Precinct 13 and For Lovers, and Platinum Doom's partners Michael Bay, who directed, of course, Pain and Gain and the Transformers franchise, Brad Fuller, who produced the Amityville Horror remake and A Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and Andrew Form, who produced the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and the Friday the 13th remake. But really, all three of them, Michael Bay, Brad Fuller, Andrew Form, they've all produced the same films. If you want to check out the sequel to The Purge, The Purge Anarchy, I can tell you right now, you don't have to have seen the first Purge to get this film. It's available for $14.99 in standard definition and $19.99 in high definition. I recommend getting standard definition because it's cheaper and it doesn't take up as much space on your device. But if you want high definition, if you want those clear, crystal clear images, and I have a few high definition movies on my iPad and they look really great. So it's up to you. $19.99 in high definition, $14.99 in standard definition. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into what is coming out in theaters this Friday. We have a few things. We have Dracula Untold. Luke Evans, who starred in Fast and Furious 6 and Immortals, stars in Dracula Untold, the origin story of the man who became Dracula. Gary Shore directs and Michael De Luca produces the epic action adventure that co-stars Sarah Gaten, Dominic Cooper, and Diarmaid Murtaugh. I'm so sorry if I got that name wrong. I study these names and I forget how they are pronounced seconds later. It's written, the source material, of course, comes from Bram Stoker, and it is directed by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless. So you can go ahead and check out Dracula Untold. I think it will be #1 at the box office, but I could be wrong. If you can also go see The Judge. In The Judge, Robert Downey Jr. stars as big city lawyer Hank Palmer, who returns to his childhood home where his estranged father, the town's judge, played by Robert Duvall, is suspected of murder. He sets out to discover the truth and along the way reconnects with the family he walked away from years before. It comes from Warner Brothers. It's directed by Dave Dobkin. It's written by Bill DeBuck and Nick Schenk. Like I said, it stars Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall, but it also stars Vera Farmiga, Billy Bob Thornton, and Leighton Meester. It's also got music from Thomas Newman, who I love as a composer. He did the score for Skyfall, Saving Mr. Banks, anything Sam Mendes directs. So you can go ahead and check out The Judge. I would love to see The Judge. It's got mixed reviews right now on Rotten Tomatoes. But take those reviews with a grain of salt and go into it with an open mind and see how you're going to like it. So if you don't want to see Dracula Untold, you could go see The Judge, or you could go see this film. It's called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. That is a long, never-ending, no end, very long title. That is me trying to be clever. As you can see, I am not clever. Disney's Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day follows the exploits of 11-year-old Alexander as he experiences the most terrible and horrible day of his young life. A day that begins with gum stuck in his hair, followed by one calamity after another. But when Alexander tells his upbeat family about the misadventures of his disastrous day, he finds little sympathy and begins to wonder if bad things only happen to him. He soon learns that he's not alone when his mom, dad, brother, and sister all find themselves living through their own terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Anyone who says there is no such thing as a bad day, just hasn't had one. Oh, yes, is that true? It is the latest film from Walt Disney Pictures. It's directed by Miguel Arteta. It stars Steve Carell, Jennifer Gardner, Bella Thorne, and newcomer Ed Oxenbould as Alexander, the titular character, as they would say. So your options today are Dracula Untold, starring Luke Evans, The Judge, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Robert Duvall, or Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, starring Steve Carell and Jennifer Gardner. I want to thank you all so much for listening to me today. You were listening to Behind the Screen, bringing you the latest in cinema entertainment. I'm Bill Loki, and if you'd like to see more content, please go to my blog, billsfilmblog.wordpress.com. Again, that URL is billsfilmblog.wordpress.com.